Alright, Shalom. I'm going to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, Bahashim, Kakadash. Double honor to my apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. Shalom, salutations to the brothers out there pushing the word of sincerity and truth, delivering the message to the elect out there to run a race of salvation. And Shalom to the elect, which consists of the men, women, and children that have the true, sincere faith of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, looking to earn their wings of salvation to flee hour of temptation. I'm the brother Amaf out of the DC Church, and just coming at you with a quick one. And this truth, dealing righteously, we have our ups and downs, and we're gonna have more downs than ups. But there's one thing I've been thinking about lately too. It's my second time doing this video. Fucking phone died. It's just keep your eyes on the Lord, because Satan's constantly throwing things at us to sway us and make us doubt or feel as though we don't have time to do work for Yahweh Shem Yahushai. But the Lord, one thing that the Lord requires of us is your first. So when you first wake up, you should pray and do your thing, whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, I pray to the Lord. I thank the Lord for having given me the chance to fight with the brothers another day, but yeah, the Lord requires your first, your first fruits. When you first get your money, you're supposed to pay your tithes, your first and things of that nature. I mean, to each his own on your tithes thing. There's no scripture on that, but that's one thing I try to practice. It's just to do everything first. Oh, there you go. This is Matthew 6 verse 33. It says, "But seek ye first the kingdom of Yahweh Shem Yahushai and his righteousness, and all things shall be added unto thee." So it's all about having that mindset of seeking Yahweh Shem Yahushai first. And we're not supposed to worry about life and things like that, because that's why I'm just thinking about the next scripture, because in these chains of darkness, it could take you down a rabbit hole that it could be really dark, and you might feel a little down or depressed or whatever. But the thing about it is to keep your eyes on the Lord. When Peter was walking on water, he was doing good until he looked down. But the whole thing about it is just to keep our eyes single on Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and what everything will be added unto us. Let me just finish that off real quick. And it says, this is Matthew 6 and 34. It says, "Take therefore no thought for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof." But the thing about it is just taking no thought. It's just if you believe you're serving Yahweh Shem Yahushai, you shouldn't worry. You know that Yahweh Shem Yahushai will take care of you. But I wanted to see where that it says Matthew 14. Let me get that. I ain't really planned this. We're going to spirit. I really wanted to do something else, but this life sucks. What are you gonna do, right? The Lord gives you lemons, make lemonade. Peter was come down in the ship. He walked on water. Okay, yeah, I'll just start here. Let's see where the Spirit takes us. The Lord's will, this is edifying, exhorting, and comfort to the to the ones watching this. This is Matthew 14:29. It says, "And he said, Come. And when Peter was come down out of the ship, he walked on water to go to Yahushua. But when he saw the wind boisterous, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried, saying, Lord, save me. And immediately Yahushua stretched forth his hand and caught him, and said unto him, O thou of little faith, thereof didst thou doubt? And when they were come unto the ship, the wind ceased, and they that were in the ship came to worship him, saying, O a true thou art the Son of the Most High, Yahweh. And when they were gone over, they came into the land of, yeah, but nah, that was the point, man. You know, when as soon as Peter, basically his flesh kicked in because he looked down. But if we keep our eyes single on Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, we'll be all right, you know. But this flesh, these chains of darkness, remind us of that carnal man, that fleshly, natural man. But we're always constantly, consistently working on that spiritual man to where, like, you know, death not gonna bother us. We're gonna be like three holy children to where it was like, so let me see if I could find it real quick. The three holy children basically was just like, man, even if we, let me see if I can get it. You know, because that's the thing about it. They was basically saying, like, we're not gonna bow down. We're not gonna bow down. Like, even if we die, we still won't. We still not gonna bow down. You know, and that's the beautiful thing about this. Is this truth. It's all good. I know it's like Daniel's the 3rd chapter. Oh, then Daniel's 3:16. Yeah, well, let's get that real quick because that's a super faith booster, and I've been meaning to go over it, but like I said, man, I didn't plan this out, so this is all through the Spirit. So this is Daniel's 3:16. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said unto the king Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. If it be so, our power, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the burning fury furnace, and he will deliver us out of thy hand, O king. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Daniel's friends protected. Then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury, and from his vantage was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Therefore he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace once 7 times more than it was worth to be heated. And he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and to cast them into the burning, furious furnace. Then these men were bound in their coats, their shoes, or shoes, I guess it says, and their hats, and their other garments, and were cast into the midst of the burning, furious furnace. Therefore, because the king commanded was urgent, the furnace exceedingly hot, the flames of fire slew those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And you see, that's the spirit, because anybody that comes up against this truth, and they always wind up getting caught up. Sakari, Polite. I'm more than positive there's other individuals that came up against this truth, spoke badly about it, to where they got checked, they got judged. And it's the same thing when you mess with the Lord's servants. You know, you bound to get hurt. You know, touching the apple of the Most High's eye and stuff. It says then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished, and rose up in haste, and spake and said unto the counselors, did not we cast 3 men bound into the midst of the fire? They answered and said unto the king, true, O king. He answered and said, he answered and said, Lo, I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they have not hurt. The form of the fourth was like the Son of Man. Then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the mouth of the burning fury furnace and spake and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, thy servants of the Most High Power, came forth and come hither. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came forth in the midst of the fire, and the princes, and the governors, and the captains, and the kings of counselors, being gathered together, saw these men, upon whom bodies the fire had no power. See, you know, all through the spirit and power, Yahweh Shem Yahushua have been that fearless, ruthless, not fearless but ruthless, but just having that trust in Yahweh Shem Yahushua that we'll be protected. So that's why we're not supposed to worry. Throughout the scriptures, this is be not afraid. One of my favorite, I said favorite, yeah, I could say that. One of my favorites was like Gideon. And Gideon, like, basically he was having a hard time believing, but he wind up, man, because you kind of tell, like, he's like, yo, you sure? Like, because he was like, yo, if I put the cotton ball on the rock and I put the water around it, basically he was just like testing the Lord to see if, like, all right, if this is going to be true. But you see time and time again, like even the men of back in those days, that they were carnal men themselves, but we as spiritual men judge of all things. So we know to constantly work on our minds to get ahead and tap more into the spirit, because you need a certain type of mental toughness to tap more into the spirit, so with that, and then this is Daniel 3:28. It says, then Nebuchadnezzar spake and said, blessed be Yahweh, or Yahweh Yahushua, who Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego have sent his angel and delivered his servants that trusted in him. Yeah. And have changed their king's word and yielded their bodies, that they might not serve nor worship any god except their own power. Therefore I make a decree that every people, nation, and language which speak anything amiss against Yahweh of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shall be cut into pieces, and these houses shall be made in dunghill, because there is no other power that have delivered after this sort. Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego to the province of Babylon. Hey, see? But hey, right? Because even the scriptures talk about, like, we're going to be brought forth of, we're going to be sitting amongst kings and priests, because, not kings and priests, but basically like high level individuals, because of the knowledge and wisdom that we have, And even so, like, even when we're brought forth, like, say we're in the midst of being judged by this world, and where the Lord is going to give us a mouthpiece to where these people won't be able to namesay nor resist, because through the spirit, through the Ruach HaKodesh, But it's all about having that mindset on Yahweh Shai that we're constantly enduring, enduring as a good soldier at that too. Like I said, I ain't really have much. I thought about that. Let me just see if I can grab something else, because this is another one, right? Because right. Because I wanted to do the news, and because there's certain things that I don't necessarily put in the chat that I would like to bring out and stuff like that. I'll be like watching and like researching, because sometimes you can't just throw anything in the chat, right? Because you got to do a little bit of research. But I want to, this is something that was on my mind. In 2 Ezra 9:1, it says, he answered me and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest the part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is that very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he have made. And that's the thing, man. We're preparing our minds to where Yahweh Shai's return. So we could be, blameless. Because right now we're still in the grace period. We can still go buy a loaf of bread, milk, whatever, eggs, etc. Of course, man, I like to buy quarters. And I seen that price went up, but chicken breast is still kind of the same. Whatever, man. But this is something that this is my like I said, this is my second time doing this video. Phone died, but I thought I was in this last video I brought this out because we have our ups and downs and whatnot, right? And it's all about constantly enduring, man. The courage to continue, regardless of what happens, what people think about you. Because we're all going to be persecuted. If Yahweh Shai got persecuted, we're going to be persecuted. Yahweh Shai got betrayed by one of the disciples. We're going to get betrayed by some brothers, but it's all about continuing, all right, process that. Because I give myself, that's one of my processes, or one of my systems that is I give myself just a little bit of time to process it and then move on. Because if you stay stuck in a particular area, or mindset, or a thought, you start sinking. Just like with Peter. I don't know if that was the last one. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I wrote it out in this video. But Lord's will, but when Peter was going to see Yahweh Shai, and basically he looked down, and then he started to sink because of that natural man kicked in. The wind started to blow or whatever, and it was like, man, nah, don't worry, it's gonna happen. But that's one of my ex-demons had said, was life without a scare, but it's all about just continuing, and we're in the flesh, man. Some brother, you got a lot of brothers and real mighty macho men out there, but we're gonna see what happens, because you got your men that's they not afraid of nothing type of deal. But the thing about it is just the Lord's going to test you in the areas that you not even know that you're weak in, and when he uncovers and you discover that now it's time to go through that test, it's going to be it's time to go. But hey, every man's going to be tested. But just real quick, this is Ecclesiasticus Sirach, or Sirach 2:1. It says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble. Yahweh Shai didn't run when Roman persecutors came down on him, and it's the same thing with us, don't run, because one of my favorites. This is Psalms 46 verse 7. It says, the Lord of hosts is with us. The power of Jacob is our refuge. Salah. Come, behold the works of the Lord Yahweh. What desolations he have made in the earth. He maketh war to cease unto the end of the earth. He breaketh the bow. He cutteth the spear in sunder. He burneth the chariot in the fire. Be still and know that I am the power. I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The power of Jacob is our refuge. Salah. So we know not to move, man. I wanted to do a video on being still, or what was it? It was being still, and there was another one. But yeah, Lord's will, man, I'm gonna do that video. There's a few of them in the chamber. Just gotta get ahead and sit down and meditate. Stir up the potion. It keeps the medicine strong. So with that, I hope you was edified, motivated, exhorted, comforted, and through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Motivated meaning motivate you to do a video. Sometimes our videos don't be all the way deep, but just be good enough to where we give a sacrifice. So with that, Kol Holo Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, Kol Holo Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, the boss of my apostles, elders, and bishops, great millstone, shalom, salutations to the brothers out there Pushing the sincerity and truth, delivering the message to the elect out there to run a race of salvation. And shalom to the elect, which consists of the men, women, and children that have the true, sincere faith in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, the ones looking to earn their wings to flee the hour of temptation. On the realm of Shalom.